Praise the Lord, everyone. Thank you for tuning in with Dr. Leisha, the preacher. Okay. Well, y'all, again, I am like spring cleaning, but it's all paperwork. So I'm doing paperwork spring cleaning today. I've been doing this for a while because I have like probably 1,000 sheets of paper over many, many years. For example, this paper is from 2003. But before I throw it away, because it's not important, I'm going to shred it. Um, I decided I would read it because it's so applicable to what's going on today. You know, people are on the internet, you know, complaining, rightfully so, complaining about taxes increasing to the point that they can no longer afford their monthly payment. So, this is a letter that I wrote to my city at the time, and it's dated March 11th, 2003. So, this is to my city, and it reads the parcel number, and it says 2003 taxable property assessment graduated increase request. I'm just trying to be professional, y'all. It says, Dear Board of Review, please receive this letter of request for a graduated increase of property of taxable property value. We understand the requirement of ownership transfer charges. However, in our case, a $32,550 increase at once is unreasonable. Please consider extending your increase over a specified period of time to allow our family the opportunity to absorb this change more affordable. Thank you, Leisha, resident. Now, what I really want to say, what the hell? I mean, like, what? You know what I'm saying? But you can't do that professionally. When you approach the government, you must be humble. So I cough up this little letter. And how I knew this was wrong is because we already owned a home in that subdivision. This was our second property in that subdivision. So our other property was being rented out while we were residing in this property here. So I already knew the property values. I was the neighborhood association. I was on the board, of our neighborhood association. So I knew our properties inside and out. So they couldn't run this by me, run this on me and expect to get away with it. But I thought before I shred this, forever, I may as well read it to you guys because people are going through things, maybe not to this extent, but people are going through this. So before you put your house for sale, maybe challenge, write a letter like I did, challenge your city to reevaluate, take another look, you know, at the charges, you know. There's usually always some type of ownership transfer change, a drastic increase. If people have lived in the home that you're buying right now, if you're buying a home right now, or you bought a home a year ago, and the people live there like 20, 30 years, you're going to pay probably twice as much as they were paying. Don't be surprised. And you can't go bone for bone by your neighbors because it depends on when you purchased the property and how it was transferred and things like that. But in my case, it was a clear error and I had a lot of confidence. So I just drafted up a professional sounding letter and sent it to them. And of course, they, you know, reviewed it and realized that it was an error. And and they fixed it, no problem, you know, because we continue to live there. I don't even remember this, but I just happened to come across this sheet of paper. I said, let me read it on YouTube. All right, guys, nothing much here. Just wanted to share this. I thought it was very interesting. But just pay attention. You know, you may be right. You know, you can contact your city to confirm that the amount is correct. You know, if it's wrong, they'll fix it. If it's right, then you have some choices to make, you know, because we can't always anticipate as the buyer what the ownership transfer change will be, how much the increase will be. It's really up to the assessment office. They have their own little way to calculate it. So it's difficult to, I guess, to protect yourself from it. There may be ways to, I don't know. But my request to them was I didn't accuse them of being wrong in the letter. I just asked them to increase that amount over a period of time so that we could catch up. You know what I'm saying? Trying to be nice, you know. All right, guys, you all be blessed. And I'll talk to you again later. Bye. Oh, I have a really juicy letter that I want to share. There's a third letter here, and it's a letter to a friend. And this is like over 20 years ago, a friend that I had over 20 years ago. So later on today, I'll read that letter. It's really deep. It'll probably take an hour just to do this letter because I'm going to have a lot to discuss with this letter. So, men, if you want to feel like you're right today, or you want to hear a woman kind of like sound like she's like on your side today, listen out for later. It's called Letter to a Friend, okay? A letter to a friend over 25 years ago. I'm just saying. All right, guys, talk to you later. Bye. Oh, click like, subscribe, hit the notification bell.